I'm an introvert by nature, of course, to being typical of accounting. There's an
Yeah.
accounting stereotype for a reason. But I try and break that mold. I definitely try and be out of my shell and, talk to people. And because, if you have the information, but you're not sharing it, what gives the
Yeah.
information?
Yeah, totally. And that's, yeah, if you have the information, right, but it's not getting to people, or you can't communicate it well, or whatever the case
Exactly.
might be, that's so
Right.
critical. I mean,
Yeah.
in our field, when I took the CFP a year and a half ago, they had just started introducing the topic of psychology of money and behavioral finance and all that stuff. But that's such a critical key component, especially because so many good financial planners are good at financial numbers and data and planning and figuring out, but just not that great at the people side of things.
You
And
have to know the psychology of people to understand what they
mhm,
like, what they don't like, what their risk tolerance is. I mean, there's a lot of different factors to
that,
kind of
yep.
take into consideration.
Yeah. And what they're saying, I've got a client that is an older client we've been working with for many, many years. And she's very frustrated because she didn't get the kind of growth this year that she wanted to in her accounts. And I said, well, because we had you fairly conservative last year, you were really upset because you had lost so much in these stock investments that you had. So we switched everything to a little more conservative while
Right.
still, getting some growth. She had 12% in the last 9 months she got, but she wasn't happy because the S&P had done whatever. And it was like, well, I didn't think you wanted to be in all stocks. Pretty sure based
Mhm.
on our conversations. Well, I don't think that's what we said we wanted. And so it just became this whole
Right.
like, here's what I've been doing this a long time. I understand. You may not have directly said it. Here's what I thought was the best portfolio based on how you felt when
Right.
the account dropped. So my first thought is, we can't let your account go down this much again, you know?
Right.
And so those are the kind of things where it comes into play of like, okay, maybe she couldn't even articulate what she wanted, or
Yeah.
now looking back, she feels anyway, that's a whole,
And it's also goes to some people don't know what they want until they realize they didn't get it, and then they
yes.
complain about it, right?
Yep.
So you can't always get what you want if you can't express what you need or what you're looking
Yes.
for.
Yes. And that was what she brought to me was, well, my friends all said they got this much this year.
Oh my
Their accounts grew
God.
this much. And I said,
I'm
I don't know
I
what
have
to
that
say to that.
I have that same problem every year. I get people who say, "Oh, my friend got a refund. Why do I owe?" Or,
I know.
well, it's a different situation.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, and that's where I definitely make that a priority just unconsciously because of my background. I've got bachelor's in psychology and I've got a master's in counseling.
Mhm.
And I really try to push, I've talked to MSU and their program about making sure they've got a good emphasis on behavioral coaching and finance and just, yeah, financial coaching, because that's a lot of it as well. I've used so much of my counseling training in financial planning just unconsciously. And, marriage counseling as couples come in, money is one of the most
Mhm.
contentious things to talk about, one of the most emotionally driven things.
Absolutely.
And you and I both see that in our conversations. And
Very, yeah, very much so.
but yeah, so getting a client to success is more than just getting them the information.
Absolutely.
How do we get them to take action on this stuff for sure? And
Right.
a lot of that is building a relationship with folks like you and collaborating with that. So
Yeah, because
tell us about the,
even if you
go
give them
ahead.
the most perfect results in your mind, it may not be
Yeah.
what they wanted. So it doesn't. Then they're not happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true as well. And you may think, I have an idea what I think this client needs based on their goals and their
Exactly. Yep.
values and plans. I had a couple that had just gone into practice and I had suggested they not pay off their house for a while because it was low interest rate days.
Hmm.
And they had surplus. I said, do it here, get on track for retirement, 401k, blah, blah, all this stuff, the usual things. And I say, this will get you on track for your goals. Yeah, but we'd like to pay off our house early. Okay, we can talk about that. I don't think it's a good idea. Here's why. And eventually I got
You
an
have a
email
three
from
percent
them.
interest rate. You should never pay that off.
Oh,
But
yeah, it was that,
but if
I'm
they have a
sure.
desire to pay it off, they're gonna want to pay it off. So it's
And that's
hard to.
good. Yeah, they ended up moving on because they just didn't feel like I supported their goal of being debt free, which you're right, my fault. And that was a
Right.
learning experience for me. I communicate that to clients now. If
Yeah.
I think this is going to get you to your goals in the best way possible,
Right.
but if you want to do this instead or pay off your house early, I can get on board with that and figure out how to help you do that. I just think
Yeah.
it's going to throw away a lot of money, but whatever.
Right.